is. Hello there, lady, young lady.
How are you?
Oh,
Fine. How are you?
Good.
and the last time I saw you was at the BCA in my booth, and it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I love the glasses on you. That looks great.
I can't see anymore. Only for like reading, but like I was still on my computer. I could potentially do it without them.
Well, that's how I got, and that's how I eventually had to finally just get the pool glasses. And
Yeah, I don't need that yet.
yeah, you're just still a little butterfly. Wow. When they told me that I was going to get to say hi and talk to you, I got so excited because we're just always darting off in two totally different directions in our worlds. And
Yeah.
so this was fun to think that we were going to just get to cross paths for these couple of minutes, and that's exciting. So that's your place behind you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Nice.
Yeah,
And
near
Kat, right? Right.
yeah, of course.
So how is Michigan?
Michigan was not what I had hoped for.
Right?
Well, it's probably what I deserved because I have not been practicing. Because I do run a pool room and it does take up a lot of time.
Right.
And, even if I am there and I do have time to practice, it's really hard to stay focused, for a long period of time. You get constantly interrupted. So it's been really hard. I'm gonna, before the next one, I'm going to practice.
I am the worst guy in the world that should be on this call right now, hearing you talk like that, because that is my lane. And
Yeah.
I'm very fussy and fanatical about distractions, interruptions, interference, and anything that wants to suck away from you the purity of what you can bring.
Yeah, and I have a friend, she's a mental coach. She does insight performance coaching. I don't know if you know Tara Donnino,
Yeah,
but
Tara
around
Donnino.
with her. She said something really interesting the other day about, good practices is mental energy. It's not just the physical energy. And that's really what it comes down to. When I practice, I feel like I'm putting in a lot of mental energy. I'm like trying to think about, what comes next? What do I do here? And that's what when I get interrupted, that's what gets interrupted, is that mental practice. And I feel like that's what I need the most, because the physical practice, I've been doing this a long time. I feel like, that's always in a decent place.
Okay. Well, we just had a fourth person on the call popping up behind you.
Oh.
And boy, is he cute. Tell us about, he just put his head down. He heard me talking about him. Okay, who is that?
That's my significant other.
Perfect. Okay. Wow, cute as heck. Okay, that's adorable. Well, so can we just talk a little bit about what is it that constitutes good practice for you? And you just said the mental part, and so your mind is present about that. But what is really good practice for you?
Good practice is, working on something, and like one thing, not just throwing balls out and running out. It's working on something particular, like whether it's the straightness of my stroke or a certain shot or something like that, and working on it until you perfect it. And that might take weeks, it might take months, it might take years, but just picking those things that are the weaknesses in your game and working on only those until they become strengths. And, of course, at the end of that, I'll also do some of that, like, throw the balls out and run out. You need that too, right? But after a certain point, they're just small things that you need to improve to get you to that next level.
Okay. And as far as time availability, what what seems to be the windows that you find you can even get yourself in that place?
Well, yeah, I think I can do it with a really good, intense 2 to 3 hour practice. But it's been really hard to get that practice because the table that I practice on is in the front of my pool room. It's, my tight pocket table. And so everybody sees me, everybody walks up to me, "Hey, Jen, what's going on?" And I'm just like, you have to be friendly. I want to be friendly, but inside I'm dying. I really want to just practice.
Okay, so let me maybe, if you don't mind, I'm gonna throw out a suggestion or two if they pop into my head at the moment. And if any of it is valid and you say, "Oh, I think I could work with that," then please do. But otherwise, if you discard it, that's perfectly fine as well. So one of the things I would suggest is, something we're all accustomed to already in life. We walk into a restaurant and sure enough, there's a stand right there with a little sign and it says, "Please wait to be seated."
Mhm.
Right? You walk into the bank and boom, there's a little sign that says, "This way," right?
Mhm.
Whatever the case may be. So why can't we possibly get a couple of signs that definitely get them coming and going that simply say, "Practice session in progress"?
Well, it's funny that you say that because I have, in the zone clothing, he's making me a special shirt. And on the front, it says, "Don't talk to me." And on the back, it says, "I'm practicing." And those will be available for sale soon. Because I'm sure it's not just me.
Wow. Wow. Tell us about your pool hall.
It's in Brooklyn, South Brooklyn, New York. And yeah, it's a lot of work. Last night we have a BCA league that we have a whole bunch of teams, they play for cash prizes, and they, some of them will probably go out to Vegas in February. And, that's been sort of like our project, is to get this league. Like, we want the biggest and best league in New York, and it's growing. It's always growing, and we're always trying to recruit new people. And yeah, we're looking forward to the fall season, which starts in a couple of weeks.
Okay. How many tables you got in the place?
We have 12 regular 9-foot Brunswicks and then 1 diamond bar box. And we are looking forward to getting a 9-foot Predator and a 7-foot Predator. I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay.
That should be in December.
So since you brought it up, I know a lot of players aren't really aware of this, but what, in your opinion, is the significant difference or benefit, advantage, however you want to say it, as to what Predator has done to put their name on a pool table?
Well, the advantage of that is that, Predator does not get in the game to be second best. And if they're going to make a table, it's going to be the best table. And the best thing about, Karim and Predator is that he's always available to the players, and he listens to feedback, and he's constantly tweaking and adjusting and trying to make it the best table he can make it. And that's what they did with their products. And to me, they have the best products out there.
So
and I'm sure the table's going to be no different.
I should cover this up here then.
The diamonds. Yeah. Hey, listen, and the other thing, like, you hear people complaining about them. I remember when diamonds first came on the scene and everyone complained about diamonds. It's just people don't like change.
Right.
But I am sure that Predators are going to be the best tables out there, because that's just what they do. When they do something, they do it 100%. They put a lot of money and research and R&D into it, basically.
Okay. Well, I've had this motto for many, many, many years. I tell people it has to be the number one. I use it, or I would use it, or I'll tell you why I don't think it's worth the money. So I'm obviously going to have to start to look into this. Good. Okay, so what is the future looking like for you?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, you know, I still have a pool room. I'm probably going to have that for a while. But I still want to play pool. I still have a passion for it. It just, I haven't been able to play, but I still have that desire to play. So
as a business owner, the idea is understandable. Don't expect what you don't inspect. You know, that's understand. You know, I owned and operated fast break billiards down in Orlando, Florida for a long time.
So you understand.
And I more than get it. And the fact was that the drill instructor never had the opportunity to explode until I didn't have to be consumed with what was going on. And for me, I always tried to get behind, you know, Linda, my wife. You know, you always put everybody else out in front. They're in charge.
Yeah.
But you know you are. And so there's this struggle between letting them deal with it versus that's it, you got to get in the fight. So do you have a possible working plan, or is it possibly not a good idea to discuss it right now, as to how you're going to be able to give yourself some of that pullback so you can do the focus, and then the machine still operates as well as it should be operating when it's in your hands?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But all I know
I'm not
is
moving to New York, so don't ask me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing pool and keep trying to run the place, and you know, hopefully I can get back to just in the headspace that I was before I you know, started running it.
So when you're practicing, are you wearing earbuds? Are you trying to tune out?
A lot of times I'm not, because I record my practice and I use my iPhone for that, so I can't listen to music while I'm, you know, recording, because I do have I'm doing a lot of social media stuff too, which is another full-time job. But I do love doing that as well. TikTok and Instagram.
Generally speaking,
I don't know if you've ever seen them, but I make these like short instructional videos.
I have not. You know, I've got my marketing and promotion team usually telling me what to do. And just recently, one of the team members suggested this TikTok thing. And, you know, the first thing I did was I was aghast. What can I possibly do in under 60 seconds? So I didn't know. So I've kind of threw a few things out there. And I guess I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around it a little bit.
Yeah.
And
it's all in the editing, you know, like I've taught like multi-rail systems like in under a minute. You know, you just have to be creative with the editing.
Good. So then that is we're going to see much more of that. That's what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to do more of that. I always appreciate like if anyone has any feedback or like any ideas for me, you know, because it's difficult to keep coming up with ideas. I was trying to put one out every day, but then like I'll run out of ideas and then I'll go silent for like a month and then I'll come back.
Okay. Well, I kind of see all these things moving, all these moving parts where you're going on all the time. And upcoming events, what are the main upcoming events right now that you really want to get serious about?
Well, there's 3 WPBA events for the rest of the year. One is going to be in Tennessee next month, so I'm preparing for that. That's 9-ball races to 8, and then Puerto Rico is November, I believe, and that is the Predator format, the 2 races to 4 with the shootout. And then I think we're going to have a Wisconsin event in December. That's another regular WPBA with the race to 8 9-ball.
So you are stepping away for these windows of time, just like you did in Michigan. And when that happens, how much do you struggle, or do you struggle with distractions about what's going on back at the pool hall while you're trying to go away? Is that something that is wrestling in your mind? And then I'd like you to, if it is, address what are you doing to work with that with your mental coach?
Well, that isn't so much of a problem because I do have a partner that plays pool, and we sort of take turns taking care of the place, so that we don't have to think about it. I mean, of course, like little things will come up, but for the most part, we know it's in good hands when we're away.
Okay, so you don't really feel, once you leave for an event, you feel like you could get totally zoned in, and that's what's happening.
Well, I mean, I have to, it's like I spent all that money to get there, traveled for however long, and, it's silly to go there and be thinking about your business that you can't help from where you are.
Okay. How much individual student are you taking on students, or how much student time are you spending?
Well, I get a lot of requests for lessons, but I don't have enough time for myself, so it's really hard to carve out an hour for someone else. But that's another area that I probably should work toward expanding, because, it is a good revenue source. I feel like I have a lot to offer in that respect too. But, we'll see, maybe next year.
Okay, so you do take on some students, and have you done group classes as opposed to one-on-ones? Have you done any group sessions?
For my league members, that 8-ball league that I was telling you about on Monday nights, I'll do free clinics for the league members. And, I'll do maybe like 3 or 4 clinics. One will be fundamentals, one will be, either kicking or alignment, or, just something. And that's the only time I really do group, but I actually like that. It flows easier than, just having one person, like, shoot the same shot over and over. Over and over.
Students aren't boring. Students aren't boring. Students aren't boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm going to tell you in advance, several years ago, I resolved the whole problem of ever feeling burdened or bored with a student. It's pretty simple.
Wow.
It's called $1,200 a day. How many days would you like to spend with me?
Yeah.
And they're 7-hour days. And we spend about a working 45 minutes to an hour at lunch, where we're talking through it. So it is a full 7. You get a little discount for 2. Most usually sign up for the 3-day event, which is $3,600. And every now and then I get a guy who wants the 4th, and I never let anybody go more than 4, because then I don't care how Superman they tell me they are. I lose. They don't have they just can't retain the capacity and keep up that kind of, because they're not doing that. So what I have resolved to do is, I have put what in my mind makes me feel like this is not a waste of my time. And so if it's that same $1,200 in front of 25 people, or it's that same $1,200 for one person, you don't work any harder to work with one than you do with 25.
Yeah. So
you at some
do one person, 1,200 a day, or as many people as they?
It doesn't. You just have you focus on what makes you feel, hey, I've been rewarded for this. This is great.
Yeah.
Now, if it goes,
that's really,
that's the key. And because there was a point where, and this was years back, you give someone, you want to give yourself, because that's just part of the love of the game. That's part of the chemistry that comes with being someone who has accomplished. You're so accomplished, and I recognize that, and you know what it feels like to be standing at that table, and it goes through your mind, and you're saying, why am I doing this? I am not getting paid what I'm supposed to get for this. And I shouldn't even have that thought in my mind, because that is not why I'm doing this. So that was a breakdown. And I found that there was a point I had to step back, and I'll tell you exactly what the three things are I had to resolve. Number one, I have to stop apologizing for what I think I'm worth.
Yeah.
Number two, I have to feel so proud of knowing if they could just get even a part of what I want to give them, they're going to be so much better off. And then number three, if I can underpromise and overdeliver, they are going to not stop talking about that when they go out.
Yeah.
So now when somebody calls me on the phone, and if you can always tell if somebody's done a little homework or not. It's how fast they ask you the question, how much do you charge?
Yeah.
The sooner they ask that, you know where they're coming from. So
Yeah.
I have a standard answer all the time. I tell them, I'm probably at $200 an hour, the most expensive instructor in the country, or pretty close to it. And I can only promise you, before I explain why, I can only promise you, I guarantee you're going to get more than you thought it was worth. Because that's my responsibility, is to underpromise and overdelivery. You think I overcharged, and it's inevitable they're going to say, wow, this was more than worth it. I actually now realize you could have actually charged me a lot more. And I could realize now that I realize this was really worth it. So some of the people who see you in their fanatic zone, the fans, and they want to be with you and they want to take lessons with you because, it's that M&M mentality, that microwave mentality. I just want it done in a minute.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be in movies because they saw the movie and then they saw the awards. They don't realize what it takes to spend 15 to 18 hours a day to get there.
Yeah.
There is no personal life. It's 7 days a week and it's 36 days a month. And there is no break until the deal is done. And so as I'm speaking to you, but I know we're going to have thousands of people hearing us. The bottom line is you personally have to set those parameters. So when you step into them, whatever anybody wants from you while you're in there, nobody's going to take away from your joy, fulfillment, and contentment, because you deserved it. You deserve that. And I've got people all around the world, and I'm very honored and grateful for what I do, but I specialize. I do one thing and one thing only. And I, in the pool business, I just want to be the absolutely greatest coach and instructor. And so I prove all my material. I never copy anybody else's. I couldn't care less who copies me. I'm flattered. But now as a player, I think, speaking to you, through you're speaking to so many people, and you're telling them, if your distractions own you, if they have hooks in you, they're going to pull at you, and they're going to be able to take, in some way, they're going to be able to take something from you that you can't leave out there on the table.
Yeah.
Because somebody robbed that. If I take this little piece of paper and I tear this little end of it off, it's not whole anymore. And you, being such an amazing, great performing champion player, I would just be fighting tooth and nail to make sure nobody's allowed to take that. I can't unless by design I want to let them have that much.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm saying. I take that piece of paper and I draw the line on it, and I say, okay, everybody, you're allowed to take all of this and any part of it you want, because nobody is allowed to invade that space. That's why you care about me, because I perfected that space to be the champion that you are. And without guarding that, and without having somebody who shields you also, that you might not see it from a blind side. Somebody was just to take a piece of you that they can't see. That's my lane. That's my arena. That's my fight. I'm just excessive in that mode when I do that.
And December, I think December is going to change everything when I get this other table. I'm going to build like a small area where I'm away from people. You know, the camera will already be set up. I don't, you know, and that table will not be open to anyone really. So
Just imagine how cool it could be if you could put a couple of cameras in there, have the room either covered by glass walls. I think they got a place down. I was just down in Racks in Orlando, Florida, and they've got a room down there that's just behind glass,
yeah,
which is
I
cool.
would feel like I would be in an aquarium.
So here's the part I was going to say. If you're not comfortable with that and you literally just made it solid walls and a closed room and put a couple of big 45 or 60-inch TVs outside with the 2 live cameras that are showing what you're doing, where they can see.
Oh, that's cool. I like
can't
that.
interrupt you. And you've created that's what I'm saying. You've created here's the piece of me I want to let you all have, but it won't interrupt what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
And I just feel that's a winner. And if space allowed to put a couple of few chairs in front of the TV sets with a couple of tables so they can order and drink and sit and watch and take notes, but they can't interrupt you. Now, if you do something, if they do something amazing, you're going to hear a little bit of the roar through the soundproof wall, because you make sure that wall is, you know, pink foamed with at least nothing less than 2 to 3 inches. And then you're good to go, because you don't need that, you know, whatever's going on out there. I'm sure you got enough of that going on in your pool hall, but in your mind, you don't hear that constant bass thumping when you're performing, when you're competing.
Yeah.
So you rule it. Anyway, it's a really cool idea. I'm just thinking about it off the top of my head, where I think you'll get a lot of traction out of that. People will take a lot of, they'll post that. They'll go, oh, wow, Jennifer's practicing in the, you know, in the crush room or whatever you want to call it, where you crush it. And anyway, just had to say that to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome idea.
Listen, you got to really, we could have either talked about a whole bunch of flowery stuff where everybody could just go, oh, I love Jennifer Barretta, but all of a sudden I can't help myself but turn it around to thinking, okay, I don't really get a lot of time with you. Can I say anything that might be useful to you?
No, you've said plenty.
Okay. So years ago you got the G5 and the G10 from me back in when we were together in Vegas. What did you ever do with those, and how did they work for you for the point that you were able to work with them?
Refresh my memory. What is the G5 and the G10?
Oh, the jump cue and the jump cue and the break cue. Remember, you came, it was at the end of the whole thing, and you came to the booth and said, do you have one of those left? I need a break cue and a jump cue. And I said, great, we'll talk soon. I want to hear what you're doing with it. And I never did.
Yeah, so the jump cue I have, that's the one that jumps like really, really close. Right. But I think I need more instruction on how to actually get over, because
I'll be there at 4 o'clock.
Practice.
Listen, I would be completely thrilled if I can pour into you any part of, but I do when gosh, I don't normally get to talk like this, so forgive me. 10 seconds here. When I watch some of you and you're performing, there are so many times that I go, no, not like that.
Yeah.
And it's not that there isn't another way, but then when I see the error, then I'm like, God, got it. Give me that phone number. And so if I, you know, you've been one of the few people on my favorite list, so to speak. And
thank you.
Well, you know, you've expressed, you know, relationship with me regarding things I've done that you felt may be helpful to you in your career. And that's all that matters to me about, you know, what can I be to you? What can you take and build on?
Like, I feel like I started really late in the game. And one of the things that helped me catch up to the people that have been playing their whole lives is that I try to learn as much as I can. I want to just keep learning and keep learning. You know, there's always more out there. And I'm pretty open to like any information that anyone wants to give me. And you're definitely one of those people that has a lot of information. So I'm trying to like get out of your brain slowly.
Well, I'm going to throw a couple of thoughts out with you that only we'll discuss at another time, but it'll get a lot of people gossiping. But why don't we do a Jennifer Barretta and the Drill Instructor tour? And we'll do 3 or 4 major hot spots in the country and pack an audience and dazzle the living snot out of them. And
I'm down for that.
And then you and me can then have quality one-on-one time at a table, just as an excuse where we get to track our times together, and we make that happen. And I've got to be honest with you, the players don't mind me saying, and by what we give them, they will provide all of the resources that we need to make that feasible and affordable.
Okay, well, you make it happen. Tell me where I need to be. I'll book the plane ticket.
Get to work on it and let us know when you put it together.
All right.
Jennifer, I know that you've got a bit of a pressing schedule. It's coming up. I'm watching my studio clock here. I'm in the Drill Instructor studio here. I've got TV cameras.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All around. I got.
I'm gonna build one of those.
Yeah, this is really. You could be jealous of this. Anybody could. I'm very grateful I get to have this.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my wife. I get to have this. So
yeah.
But I'm right here in South Carolina. I'm just a puddle hop away practically. And in fact, I think in the next week or 2, I'm not sure what the schedule is. I know Allison Fisher's coming down just to visit with me a little bit, and we're going to look at a couple of things. And I think, yeah, we've got something. But while time is kind of pressed, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
We've got all these pool players watching. From your heart, right out of the gate, if you wanted to say something to them to really be encouraging, be inspiring, be a little bit admonishing, that's perfectly welcome too. But something you could really say, talking to the players, that they could really take from you about them, their game, the journey, the joy of the role, and feel like we can live with that. Would you share your heart to these people like that?
Yeah, well, what I would say is that there are no quick fixes, and nobody knows everything. And I mean nobody. I don't care how great the player is. So you always have to keep your mind open for new information, and you don't have to implement everything you hear, but you should take it in, try it. If it doesn't work for you, discard it. But you have to keep taking that information in. And no matter how late you start, if you keep doing that, you can get to any level pretty much at any time in your life. But it is going to take a lot of hours at the table and a very open mind.
Yeah. You got that, you bunch of lazy people? You got that?
Get off the sofa, go get your pool cue.
Go get your pool cue, put your whining towel away.
But there's so much information out there now. When I started playing, the internet wasn't the internet. It was like, there was nothing about pool on the internet when I first started playing. I had to go to the bookstore. Like that was my only option. I went to the bookstore and just like bought every book I could find. And then I found people I would ask like, what does this person know? What does that person know? And then, I just eventually got in with somebody who really knows the game inside and out. And we worked together for 15 years and, just keep trying to get more information. And I still do that. I still want more information. I know there's more that, I need to learn.
Okay. Well, we are releasing DITV, and this is just because it's becoming such a digital age.
Mm-hmm.
Books, DVDs, hard copy stuff is really not. So we are packaging everything. It's been a slow rollout. but it's ready. It's at the door, ready to burst, so to speak, where
Yeah.
all the content, all the library, and plus more and more that we build on. That is, again, we're trying to figure out ways to be able to let more people get more.
Yeah. And, you know, they've like, if even just follow me on TikTok, if you're out there, I put up like everything that I wanted to know that no one would tell me, because that was like closely guarded secrets. And I'm just like giving it away.
I'm so amazed you just said that. Good, good. When I came out with 52 advanced shots, how to escape any bad roll or defensive play against you. Oh my gosh, I got so much.
Where's that? I want that.
I got so much garbage from road players. You can't be teaching that stuff. That's our secret.
Yeah.
I mean, every kick, push, throw, carom, hook. I mean, just every possible way. What I did last night, or no, tonight on the clinic tonight, for the very first time ever, I teach you the formula of how to aim at the point of the points of the shim and the rail in order to make, because you have no other way to use the rails to kick. How to use the points in order to come. And so I'm jammed up and I hit the side pocket point and I come back and make the ball in the corner pocket. And I teach them, okay, here's the formula to know how you do this in order to control the direction of the cue ball. And I'm going to reveal that tonight for the first time. We were on the phone with Robles the other day and I said to him, I said, well, do you know this? You know the formula for slide on cloth? Mm-hmm. It's based on how new the cloth is. There's a formula for kicking and banking. And I created that years ago. And he was like, no. I said, well, until the first time you and I get together in person, then I'll tell you, but I won't tell you till then.
Yeah. Wait, I want to know more about this 52 things. Where do I get that? I want to see that.
I will. Okay. So you and I, let's maybe consider the idea of having a personal conversation that will drive the idea of your competitive edge back into the very place where you know it's supposed to be. And we'll do that. And I will, you won't have to worry about those 52 advanced shots. I promise you will. They're coming to her soon. Jennifer, what's your dog's name?
Oh, his name is Apollo. Was it the big dog or there's a big
dog
and a
on cute?
dog?
Do you see him in the background? Apollo, do a backflip. Oh, Jennifer, first, for everyone who would take the time to get to watch you, you have always been just a breath of fresh air in the industry overall. You just make a great impression. You're so beautiful and you're graceful and incredibly and remarkably talented, and all of that in one big package is extremely attractive, and it makes people want to gravitate to you. And so I can only say, for the success of your pool hall and everything else that you're putting your hand to, that you would just realize that your hard work is really fruitful, which is amazing. And on behalf of Kat and the Sneaky Pete Mafia team and everybody else and everybody in the pool world, I'm thrilled I get to do this with you. Thank you that you would give us.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, thank you, Jen.
Oh, good. I'd
say,
say,
let's do that tour. I'm down for that.
Okay. Would you mind if there was possibly a clip of something you may or may not have said that I can use your pretty smile and make a comment and put it on DITV and let people know that?
Sure.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I know Kat has your private information to reach you. I am ready to buzz myself for an appointment just like you. And I promise I will reach out. We'll just talk privately between us. We'll come up with a way where we can discuss just where we've picked up from here. And yeah, I would be thrilled to help you put up those barriers and regain that crush mentality that you can put out. You've got the ability to.
It's in there. I know. And I was like just hitting it before the pandemic, like literally just hitting my like peak game. And, that sort of like destroyed everything.
The good news is it doesn't go away. It's not like an opportunity,
Yeah.
if you don't do it, somebody else will do it. It's not
Yeah.
like,
No, it's in there. I know.
it
It's in
is
there. I
yours.
feel
It is yours. And all we have to do is just push the leaves back. And
Yeah.
there's that gem. And okay, I tell you what, I will make a commitment to follow up on this, because I always gravitate. I don't gravitate to who's winning. I gravitate to who should and could be winning, because I like to be part of that.
Yeah. And
That's
like right there.
that's
I've
just
had
how
so
I
many
made up.
second places, third places, I got to get over that last final hurdle.
Yeah, I get that. I remember when Jason Shaw called me several years back, and it was just before his daughter was born. And he said, look, I got to work with you. And then it wasn't too long after that, with everything that had to take place, but Jason still has to do the work.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, there's no magic bullet. I totally understand that.
There's nothing wrong with doing the hard work when you're pointing in the right direction.
That's so true.
Yeah, nobody cares how far
That's
the journey
so true.
Yeah, nobody cares how far the journey is. I know I'm going north, because that's where what I'm looking for is.
I know for a fact that's the right way to go.
Okay, so let's make sure this is just a comma, a pause, and then I promise you we'll pick up on this. And don't worry, whatever I have is yours. You don't have to worry about. Don't go to the website, figure out how to spend $90 and get one. That's the kind of stuff, because even though it's in the books, when I teach what's really around it, the peripheral of it, that's the big deal. Like last night when I taught the points on the pockets, I didn't teach how you calculate every shot. They're just the general idea, and then there is the more. And
right, of course.
Okay, so it is 30 seconds away from 11:45. That is your break.
Perfect.
Hard cut.
Yeah, I got to go to the DMV and get an enhanced license today.
Yeah, well, me too. I just haven't gotten around to it. My picture, every time I show somebody my license, I was at the bank yesterday. She looked at my license. I said, that was 100 pounds ago. Jennifer, thank you. I promise
Thank you so much.
I'll be calling you within the week.
Awesome. Thank you
so much. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
That was wonderfully perfect.